for the next speaker, Antonio Novellino, that will talk us about a first roadmap for data management solutions of low-cost ocean observing technologies. Yes.
Yeah, we're going there. We're going there.
Continue.
Low-cost technologies. In fact, what Linda was also saying. So, yeah. Challenging industry.
Okay, good. So, good afternoon this time. So we are going, I mean, we started discussing about the potential of the citizens and the citizen science activities to contribute to the data monitoring. And I mean, this presentation is trying to give you a flavor of what we have already started thinking about and some streams that are already happening. But I take it from far away. So why we need data? I mean, we are living in, on a planet in which most of the planet is water. And we have most of the people that are living very close by the water. And we need, I mean, we are supplied by oceans for many kind of things. We are getting food, energy, materials. We do most of the transportation. We live for tourism. So ocean is global issues, and so we have to observe it globally. We have discussed it quite a lot. And we have also a common challenge, and so we have many programs and initiatives that are looking at monitoring, and we discussed about how to simplify and streamline the data management on this. This is also nice because if we look at some reports from OceanOps or in situ goes, we see that we have many platforms. We also have some information about, how much is spent at European level in order to collect the data. But although we can see many points in the map, if we really look at, the coastal areas, or if we look at, Southern Ocean or polar areas, or if we look deep in the sea, we are missing a lot of data. So we need to act on this, and so we need to find alternative routes in order to collect the data. And one way to do that is involving citizens. So involving citizen initiative and involving low-cost technologies in order to enable citizens to contribute to the data collection. This is also nice to think about that European Commission is planning, is requiring somehow to get 20% of the marine data to come from citizen science activities by 2025. So it's very close. And so, we have also to speed up in order to provide these people with tools in order to facilitate their activity and contribution to the different data collection. But, this is a survey that we did during another event. And we asked the people, what is the first things that comes to your mind when we speak about citizen science? And you can see here this word cloud, and we see that we have NGO, that somehow is one terms that is popping up, but is also engaging the public, awareness, more data, engagement, and so on. But if we go to the, let's say, the definition of citizen science is participatory science is scientific work that is done by ordinary people, so with no special qualification in order to collect the data. And somehow this has emerged as a very powerful tool and popular activity to engage and collect data. As we already said, also the European Commission is betting on this contribution. And we can also report that it is a growing interest. These are some of leaflets of events that have been done, and they are ongoing from past years. You can see the picture of Patrick that he was supposed to do this presentation that is also doing many of these initiatives. But if we look at some example, which are, example of citizen science, we have, for example, and the other thing is also that this kind of initiative are really getting a lot of awareness at the international level, because, for example, in this case, we have that science is also mentioning this activity that is a network of very cheap sensors that are used for ecological studies. So you plug this sensor all over the places. You can see in the map how many sensors have been plugged. And then you go there with a mobile application and you can scan and retrieve the time series of the temperature recordings. And by the way, also the accuracy of the sensor is quite high because it's 0.1 degrees. So for ecological studies, good enough for doing studies. And that's why it also took the attention of science. Or there are other guys or startups that are inventing or building up very funny tools that are very cost effective. So for example, in this case, these guys, again, got the attention of some British newspapers because they were building a small autonomous vehicle that can collect and can be deployed as an autonomous system, but is much cheaper than other competitors, competing solutions. But also, if we think about the contribution that people that are doing sports, for example, scuba divers, can provide to the data collection is quite impressive. But we also have some examples that are already feeding Emonet. We have two, I would mention two main examples. One is the Ocean Data Networks, that is the network of fishermen that are using some smart sensors attached to their fishing net. And what is very interesting is that they are very complementary to the other data that we are already collecting. In the picture, we can see the complementarity of Argo profiles and this fishing-based collection data. The soup is another example. And the other one is in New Zealand. So we can see that we can also cover some area that at the moment in our previous map for Emonet are not covering. But another good example of citizen science project is also the ocean race. While they were racing, so while they were performing a race, they were also collecting data, and we were able to connect both the operational data, so the lines that you can see are temperature data that were streamlined operationally, but they were also doing some bottle sampling that they submitted to the British and German National Geographic data center, so we received it as a delayed mode. But we have a big potential, because if we think about all the kind of outdoor activities, water outdoor activities that we can have in any coastal areas, we may have a very huge potential on that. But of course, we have also some concerns, and again, playing with the some surveys, I would say the highest concern that we have is the perception of the quality of the data. So we need to work on that. And that is very linked also to the second point, that is data verification methods. So again, we are speaking about the quality and the way the people are collecting the data. So what we need to do is really to try and clarify the way and the methodology by which we can ingest and use this data. But we also have some legal concern, because as soon as we start speaking about citizens, we are also dealing with privacy. So there are ethics concerns around, there are some location concerns around, and so it's quite important to have clear also this distinction, because if you're speaking about let's say a citizen science action in which you have a project, in which you have a PI that is involving other people, in the end you have this person that is the accountable person for the data. If it is a more participatory action, then again, it's a different way to manage this legal consent. So there are some issues, some things that we always have to think about when we start dealing with the new data streams. But, of course, we have to bet on this, because as we discussed, we have a very good potential on that. And some key messages, so, steps that we can do is that we also have to think about the accessibility of the technologies. Because, for example, we have many citizen science actions that are related to census or abundance mapping, while we need to start using more the citizen to collect, let's say, digital data, so also, I mean, oceanographic data, for example. It should be very lowered the kind of activity in order to start reporting the data. I mean, we discussed a bit during the day that in order to involve people, we need to simplify the activity and the data submission system and management system in general. So it's quite important. And then, of course, also, we have to identify technologies that are very easy to be deployed. The example before is very nice, because then it means that each and every one really can start using things, scanning a QR code to register the sensor, and then just putting the system on top of the boat, and then you go. And then you know that you are contributing to the general picture. Yes, we need to work all together in order to make more consensus on the way we are using the data. So we need to start working with this data. We need to identify, we need more sensor, we need to identify more action. And I'm mentioning the Lancelot's project because it's quite important for the people that knows new technologies, because we are building up a sort of a reserve list of low-cost technologies, because the project has allocated some money to purchase these technologies. So please come in contact with us, because we are making this list and we can really start using new technologies, low-cost technologies. Next steps, this is my last slide. We are also thinking about to set up a sort of focal point for coordination, because as we saw, we have different initiatives. Some can be grouped, some other are not really fitting the puzzle that we are developing. And then, of course, it's quite important to have a key place in which people can ask and have direction in order to select, which citizen science project contribute to, or which kind of technology they can deploy. So it's really making the network. So please help us in doing that. We have many logos and people and projects that are already working on that. But of course, again, it's a quite important activity, a community-based activity that we have to do together in order to support the fair access to this very powerful and amazing new kind of data. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Antonio. Is there any question? Yeah.
No
Tired. Yes, there is.
Yes, thank you. That was a very interesting talk. I'm wondering, you're talking about citizen science. Would you also consider working together with, for instance, fishing industry members who also consider putting sensors on board on their vessels? Not just for their fishing pleasure, but also for scientific use.
Well, yes, that community is a very good example of potential citizen science that can contribute, because, according to the definition, we say that a citizen science is someone that is doing a different job, but while doing that job is also collecting data. So fishing industry could be one potential target to target, yes.
Okay.
The Fishing for Data initiative.
Yes, we did. We did a couple of webinars for fishing for data, yes.
Yes. There are some interested fishermen. I'll pass them on to you.
Yeah, but again, one point, and that is also important, having some side projects that are supporting this networking activity. Lancelot is helping in order to creating, I would say, this kind of primary hub for getting information and be directed towards solution and stuff like that. So it could be also let's say, the first entry point to start interacting with this kind of community and define together which kind of solution we can deploy. And we can take, for example, the soup solutions and so on. Yeah.
Hi. I'm here. I just wanted to make 2 comments. One is that the mission Starfish was not approved. So that 20% is a target to aspire to, because it's not been approved. And it's Mission Ocean what's in place.
Yeah.
And I wanted to add just a biology perspective for the citizen science, which we add another level of complexity, which is identifying what's being observed by a taxonomist or an expert, which you don't need if you have a sensor measuring temperature. For the biodiversity citizen science, you then have to add another layer of human resources, which is not easily available at most times.
We have examples where they do it. In Spain, for instance.
Yeah, we have examples.
You have examples?
But what Antonio was saying is not just the data, it's the quality of the data.
Yes, that is one concern. But again, if we go back also to some of the presentation that we had this morning, somehow we also are starting having tools that can support in that. Because if we think about machine learning approaches
Yes, but you always need a person.
But it's, yes, of course, it's all of, of course.
You can't get away with it.
You start having all the pieces of the puzzle.
Yeah.
I think that's generally speaking, you need some education, some guidance, some support. You cannot simply say, here's the tool and go away and you deliver high quality data. I don't think it works like this. You need some coaching. And anyway. But okay, hey, thank you
so
very
much.
much.
Thank you.